players and community leaders in celebration of this new chapter in the history of Paul R. Miller Stadium.
Hey, and there you have it as the big introduction to the new year for the high school, for the sports program, to be back to school. And myself, Steve Bezak, Bruce Leonard, along with Judy Orzetti, Tom Orzetti, Chris Nicholas, Jimmy Gerville down here. This is a function.
The people that make it go round are
right.
all here.
And I'll tell you what, and this is a celebration to open up the school year and to honor the new track, the new
Football field.
The football field. And I'll tell you what, when I first came walking across the parkway to see it, yes, it surely.
There's hardly a word for it. I mean, the sun was just blazing on. It was amazing.
And also, too, as we, this celebration, what an effort it is from the whole Kane community.
Oh, sure.
And was talking to Jason Barner earlier tonight when we came in here, and Jason, being the part of the school district with the work that he had taken place about the new complex.
Yep.
He did an outstanding job.
Huge proponent for it, Jason was.
Huge. And I'll tell you what, Derek D'Angelo, Derek is an unsung hero of the Kane community. I just want to say his name out there because Derek, he does a lot of things that people just don't realize what he does.
Right.
And so shout out to Derek. And it's just we've seen the mayor, Brandy Schimpf, here tonight. She's going to be doing.
There's a lot of organizations over here on the far side of the field. You see them all set up. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 different organizations being a part of this starting the school year celebration off here.
And this is a first. I mean, this is something that people got together and thought out of the box again and came up with this. And as we're getting closer to the opening ceremonies, the crowd is coming. I mean, I'm actually not shocked, but it's a heartwarming feeling to see the community come together tonight.
But we roll towards this usually the fall. This is us. We look forward to personally we do.
Yeah.
Because it's centered around football and the other fall sports, and all of these athletes, school athletes, are going to be introduced tonight along with their teammates, which is probably golf and cross country, cheerleading, golf. Did I say golf?
You said golf.
And football.
And football, right.
Volleyball, too. I'm sorry, volleyball.
Yeah, and like I said, and what a production that Joe and his crew up here done. And Chris, I mean, they had new equipment up here, Bruce, the speakers. These guys have just done a phenomenal job. And we always say they do the hard part and we do the easy part because
we come in when they turn the lights on and the seats, and we sit down and we just start blabbing away. So, and I just got a thing from Chris that said this football soccer field is the largest soccer field in District 9. And they're going to do the marching band tonight and the drum corps. And UPB soccer will be playing here this year, too.
Yeah, Jason Barner was talking about that earlier. And some of the stuff that this field, I mean.
This opens a lot of avenues, especially towards, like, playoff time. Before where we might lose the field halfway through football field because of damaged water, mud, whatever, that we can hardly play on it. And now, come playoff time, we're never going to worry about that because of that issue. You can have an afternoon game. You can have an evening game playoff here. Yeah. Brings people to town. They go everywhere. Everybody's involved.
And also Jason Barner, and he is the sports director, you know what I mean?
Athletic guy,
athletic director, and he does a lot of stuff. And he was talking to Derek D'Angelo earlier when I was just happening to listen into the conversation, and they were talking about, and I wish that he was here to tell us a little bit more about it, but he was talking about, I think there's going to be a big soccer thing up here too, like a New York.
It's the corporate soccer thing between New York and Pennsylvania.
There you go.
And we're going to host that next year. Yep.
So how about that, And what they were talking about, how many people will be coming into Kane, and they see this, they go uptown, they see, what it has to offer, they get a bite to eat, and then they see, multiple restaurants, oh my God, we're coming back. And
we didn't get it all in one day. We're coming back.
Right, yeah, and that's what's going on up here. And my daughter, my daughter Katie Bezak, she lives in St. Mary's, and she works in Du Bois, and she's a nurse practitioner. So they were just about a month ago, and this is right from her mouth. And I wanted to bring this up and let the people who've done a tremendous job up here taking Kane to the place where it's at. Well, she was down at a function, and there was doctors and there was people that were connected to the town of Du Bois.
Right.
So the one person finally said to my daughter, says, "Hey, so where are you from?" And she says, "I'm originally from Kane, Pennsylvania." And immediately the guy says, "Oh my God, Kane is on the map." And he goes, "I wish."
You've got it going on.
They do. And he goes, "I wish Du Bois could do this." And he goes, "Every small town across, Kane is setting the trend." So that's a big shout out.
It's an injection by this group of people in the Kane area that have started this ball rolling in that direction, which is forward.
Yeah.
And it is working to a T.
And then you look, I mean, I'm going to talk about this stuff as football goes on the season, but as we're on the air, but the alumni weekend, what a success, Arts in the Wild success, tons of people around, what it takes to make that all happen. The Swedish Festival just this past weekend.
Always a great venue.
A great, and then people from Mount Jewett, a shout out to them, and we'll talk more about that too. There was a wine tasting thing up here a couple of weeks ago. I just happened to be riding through town, and there was and it was like loaded with people that you never even seen before. So
thinking outside the box, man.
And Trails to Rails.
Yep.
Right.
Tons of people.
Rails to Trails. I always say Trails first. I don't know why.
But
that
people
is,
would know what you're talking about.
They do, and they correct me if they do. But Rails to Trails. And that was Tom K. He's a big part of that stuff going on, and his wife Sandy, and and that's all the way out past the Lamont now. You can get on the Trussell, and that is a great thing.
You can rent bikes here and ride out there if you don't want to walk. Electric bikes and
there's a rental up here now.
Yep. So just one more attraction.
Just promoting Kane, right, and the area. And from Jewett, from Lance Corners, all the way out to the Kenzu Bridge. That is done on that side. And so, like your big thing is saying, if you can't find something to do,
it's your fault.
It's your fault.
You ain't trying, man.
Yeah, And another attraction too is the Kenzu Dam just down the road from us. I mean, if people like to fish, if people like just to go down and boat, and I was fortunate enough to been down there a few times this summer, and just what a fabulous place.
Always people down there.
The camps coming down are loaded.
I come home that way from work every day, and I'm amazed that there's not more people. I'm glad, but I'm just amazed because it's such a beautiful venue we have here.
And people are finding out. They really are. I mean, it's happening up here, and I said, and this is spectacular. So, the first game, what's that going to be? 2 weeks
26th.
The 26th.
1:30 afternoon here at Paul R. Miller Stadium. Yep.
At a 1:30 afternoon. We're going to have two.
That will be one of two Saturday games. We're going to play Port Allegheny over there mid-season. But our first game, the home opener, will be the 26th of August at 1:30 in the afternoon here. Will be kickoff time.
Yep, and that's, I know.
And that will be against Brockway.
Against Brockway here at home. And, so I don't know if we're still allowed to say Friday Night Lights, because that's what we used to say was the Friday Night Lights.
Well, we're lucky it wasn't a Thursday night game. A lot of different changes being made due to lack of officiating.
And so we're probably going to be hitting on that this year, too, with these games, and throw out some ideas about officiating and
young kids getting them involved.
Try to get involved, and because that's what it takes. And like I said, now and a big change here too is Coach Todd Silfies now is going to be the assistant vice principal up here at the high school. So he's not going to be the head coach this year for the football team. And we'll get into all this as time goes on. But Keaton Roundsville is going to take over the head duties this year.
Okay.
So with that,
we're going to go down to Kate Kennedy and Chris down below here. Oh, maybe they're not ready.
Okay, yeah. Chris gave us Chris always is the quick shooter out there.
There she goes.
There she is. So there's Kate Kennedy right now.
Do I have to turn on the middle one? I can't remember.
There you go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Kane Area School District's Back to School Night celebration. To kick things off is Superintendent Janine Kloss.
Welcome everyone to this exciting night for Kane Area School District and the Kane community. I want to start by talking about General Kane and how he stood on this hill over 150 years ago and knew he was in a special place. I think of him whenever I'm up here and see the beautiful sky, and sometimes it's fiery pink and other times the perfect shade of blue. And tonight, a little bit gray, but still beautiful. And it's easy to understand why he chose this as the space to make his home. And now, here we are today with this gorgeous centerpiece that has been built for our community. This athletic complex is just one of several renovation projects that occurred in the district this summer. And they all represent the commitment that the school board and district leadership have to ensure our students, faculty, staff, and community have the facilities that they deserve. I would like to use my time speaking with you tonight to express gratitude to the many people who helped to make this dream a reality, because a project of this magnitude takes a tremendous amount of collaboration, hard work, communication, and planning. Starting with the folks behind me on the track tonight, the first thank you goes out to the KASD School Board of Directors. Linda Anderson, Scott Paul, Tom Carrick, Derek D'Angelo, Clarion Buckley, John Ball, Susan All, Amber Hancherick, and John Lorenzo, who could not be here with us tonight. They approved this project with the support of Interim Superintendent Ann Carney in the spring of 2022. This is a hardworking group of people who want nothing more than to do what is best for KASD. Their participation in this project did not stop at a vote. This board continued to stay engaged through all phases of construction and are here tonight to open it for all of you. I have so much appreciation for the Kane Area School District administration team, whose pride for our Wolfpack is unrivaled. Their leadership across the district makes anything possible. A huge thank you goes out to our facilities manager, Todd Fitch, who provided oversight of this massive project and diligence in ensuring it was done appropriately. His expertise served the district well, and I'm so proud of the way he managed this installation. Thank you to high school principal Todd Stanko, who with the help of current elementary principal Shannon Olson, exercised superior leadership and decision-making as they led the high school building through this process, which began in March when school was still in session. Much gratitude to our tech director, Chris Nicholas, who along with his crew facilitated the installation of the sound system that this complex is worthy of and provided valuable input in many discussions centered on the complex. And of course, many thanks to business manager Jessica Gabriel, who wielded her financial expertise every step of this project. Athletic Director Jason Barner led those with a vision for this project. He and his assistant, Mike London, are joining us tonight, and their love for the Wolves athletics runs deep. I can't possibly capture all that these gentlemen have done in the past several months in a few words. The scheduling and rescheduling of events alone has been an incredible feat, but they have also provided guidance and leadership to make sure coaches, athletes, and the future of KASD athletics were considered at every turn. Which brings me to our coaches and athletes, who deserve special appreciation for their unwavering patience as they were displaced and shuffled around while this space was under construction. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Coach Jim Sirianni, who has been a stark supporter of this project from the beginning and has been here daily to track progress and provide input when something seemed amiss. Stephen Nagler is here tonight from Keystone Sports Construction, and I would like to thank them and their subcontracts, including Straw Construction, for their professionalism and commitment to excellence as they worked on this installation. It's a gorgeous space, and they are to be commended for the result. A special nod goes out to teachers Nick Byron and Mike Swartwood, their VOAG students, our maintenance gentlemen Dan Madigan and Alan Deitch, Kathy Grunstrom and her custodial crew, and local business owners Dave Conklin, Steve Dine, and Doug Walker, who all made contributions to the construction process. We also appreciate the work of Tammy Johnson, who, with the help of a Wolfpack friend who wishes to remain anonymous, gave our scoreboard a facelift to match the rest of the complex. They did a fantastic job, and it looks great. And finally, thank you to all of you, Mayor Brandy Schimpf, Kate Kennedy, and the Kane area for the outpouring of support and profound excitement for the potential that this athletic complex represents for KASD and the community. Tonight, we will open this space for our children to play and learn for many years to come. May they discover what it means to be teammates and learn to win and lose with grace, set school records, set personal records, love their school, and feel pride in their hearts as a member of the Wolfpack. And most importantly, may they share an understanding with General Kane that this place is extraordinary, and they are fortunate to be a part of the memories and history unfolding here. Next up, I'd like to introduce Mayor Brandy Schimpf.
Good evening. On behalf of the Borough of Kane, I would like to extend our gratitude and thanks to the district and all involved in the investment that we stand on tonight. Investments in our greatest asset, the youth of Kane, are what will continue to move our community forward. And not only is this an investment that will serve our students, it will serve those who have long supported the Kane Wolves, our local businesses. This athletic complex, our district is poised to host a wide variety of events, bringing visitors from all over to spend their time in Kane, visiting our local businesses and boosting the local economy, both consistent themes that when the project was being planned were considered. It also helps as we work to attract new families to join our Wolfpack. Who wouldn't want to live in a place that continually invests in kids, both through academics and athletics? Our star in the forest is going to shine brighter, much, much brighter, for all those who are lucky enough to call this special place home. So congratulations and thank you to everyone who turned this dream into a reality for our entire community. And also, now I'd like to introduce School Board Member Derek D'Angelo. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming. Great turnout. Mrs. Kloss, our superintendent, pretty much took the speech that I intended to give, but there is people that I think deserve repeated for what they've done. And one of the people that I want to thank the most is Jessica Gabriel. You know, when we decided to start this project, she assured us that we could afford to do this without having to raise taxes. And that was a big concern for all the board members. And I want to thank the school board members too, because we were all not on board with the project when it was first presented, but everybody remained open-minded and looked at all the different options that we had. And I'm really grateful for the Keystone Sports for the beautiful job that they did for us. I want to thank Jason Barner and Mr. London and Mr. Silfies. They put a lot of time into doing all the background work to make sure that we had the facility that we wanted and the facility that everybody could enjoy. You know, I'm really glad because now the soccer team is finally going to get their fair dues too, because they will have the ability to play on the same field here too. I also want to thank Mrs. Kloss. She kind of stepped into the middle of this and she took off running, did a fantastic job. And I want to thank Todd, our facilities manager. There wasn't a single time that I called Todd and asked him a question where he didn't have an answer or he didn't get back to me instantly. So if anybody I missed, Mr. Stanko, I want to thank him, Keystone Sports. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but just look at it. It's beautiful, and all the kids will get a chance to enjoy it. So thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. The one thing with this project that kind of really hit home with me was the extent of this, how big of a project this was, and be able to come out here after school was out and watch the progress of this was amazing. It was almost kind of like my own little Zen garden to be able to come out here and watch all this stuff take shape. But also, the other nice thing about this that I realized is that we had some massive undertakings here with the construction of this complex, but also we had a lot of local experts here that some of them already have been mentioned that kind of helped out with this. And to have, for instance, Tom Cicchetti and Jim Sirianni, who have a combination of 90-some years of track coaching, you know, when they said, well, hey, we're getting ready to paint the runway down here for pole vault, you know, how do you want the paint? And I'm like, I don't know. I never painted a runway for pole vault before, but I do know a guy. So I called Jim Sirianni. I'm like, hey, Jim, they're looking to get the paint down on here. And he's like, let me call Tom. I'm like, better yet. Because what you don't realize is in those 40 some odd years each of them have, the number of tracks that they've been on, that they've put kids on, that I'm figuring this has got to be one of the best laid out tracks just because of all that experience. But that also extends out to the soccer coaches, the track coaches, football coaches, Rael Whitman, very instrumental in getting this stuff laid out. Mike Szymanski, Todd Sophies, Rennie Sackwin, Brittany Sprankle, Chris Nicholas, and also the help of Shannon Olson. Shannon had a lot of input into some of the design of this, which was greatly appreciated. And as always, Mike Swartwood and Nick Byron, which they did a lot of the pulling of the posts out, the landscaping around the fences, the new ticket booth. If you didn't notice, we got the new ticket booth going out there, and everything looks really good. As mentioned before, Dan Madigan and Alan Deitch, for their hard work in putting in the steps. But most of all, I've got to thank the students because, when this went down, all of a sudden now we're moving around the track season a little bit, and we have phys ed classes in May. They like to be down here. They really couldn't be down here. So it displaced not just the students that will be using this complex for team events, but also for physical education. So thank you to the students for being versatile, and I hope that in the years to come it was worth it. So just to close here, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, for your support. Feel free to take a look around, see what we have going on here. Really neat experience to kind of stand on the turf and get a feel for that. So I'm going to close everything out with thanking everybody. And at this time, we're going to move on to our back to school fair. And thank you all for coming. Oh, we're not? I'm sorry. Kate says no, we're not. Oh. Yeah, I guess we have a ribbon.
We have a ribbon to cut.
That's probably important. Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Stanko.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to now invite School Board President Mrs. Linda A. Anderson down to cut the ribbon. And everyone back here, please come and stand around her as she opens officially the new turf field. So.
Go ahead, cut it, man. Don't hurt your finger.
All right, let's go ahead and count down. Let's be dramatic and count down from 10. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it even worked.
Okay, so Kate tells me now that I can thank everybody for coming and let everyone know that we're going to move on to our back to school fair. So you see all the stands around the track. Feel free to walk around and see what we have going on here. And then at 7:30, we will start our Meet the Teams for fall sports. So thanks everyone for coming out.
Okay, so we're back on the air here, up in the booth, and that was quite the presentation these people put on for the crowd on hand, which is a sizable crowd. Once again, I want to thank Joe and all of them. Chris done a lot of work up here. Tom and Judy Orzetti were up here getting things set up earlier. Like Kate Kennedy just mentioned, there is a ton of people over there. I see UPMC has a table. I wish my vision was better. There's a bunch of places got up. They have little grab bags and they're giving away things, just information about the community and different things. I see the soccer kids are down there. They're going to be introduced tonight at one time. The cheerleaders will be introduced along with, who else do we have? The football players, obviously. They put a new coat of paint on the scoreboard. Everything's looking fine. And if you haven't got a chance to see this field yet, please come on up any day and go through the office and ask them if you could possibly come out here, or just drive up to the back parking lot and take a look in. It's an amazing thing. I know a lot of people have seen pictures, but boy, when you come and you look at it as a as a live thing, when we came up and the sun was just right, it is absolutely gorgeous. You know, there's going to be no issues with mud and drainage and all that kind of stuff that you worry about. This is all set up for success here. We got the volleyball team is right out at midfield on the 50-yard line, and they're setting it back and forth amongst each other. This is a wonderful crowd we have on hand. We've got midget football kids up here playing right next to the big kids, and they're showing them some little skill things. They're showing the little kids how to do it, and these little kids, they just love being around the older kids, you know. Hey, maybe we get Bees up here. Maybe not. He's down there. He's chawing with somebody. Huh. Here he comes, my partner in crime. We've had a coaching staff change up here. Like they said, Todd Silfies has had to step down, and Keaton Brownsville has stepped into that position of head coach. Chris Barber is going to be the new offensive coordinator. I know they're going to be doing a lot of different things from what the kids were telling me, so it's going to be it's all wide open. I mean, it's a lot of different things going on. And a nice thing about the kids today, they're a little more used to it than what we were used to, you know. These kids, the terminology, and it's a fast-paced thing that goes on nowadays.
And how about that, you know, that presentation? I was sitting outside just listening, and oh my God, the thank yous, the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to.
You hate thanking somebody because you think you're going to forget somebody.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's just there's so many people involved. But look at all the different kids.
Yeah.
Volleyball, soccer, junior football, everybody.
And like I said, Chris and Jimmy Gerville and Tom, they have the cameras. So I would imagine that we weren't watching that, but if you're at home watching on TV, look at the different angles that they were able to look at this. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're right. What a turnout! Exactly.
Just another thing towards our community, Steve. This is a tight, small community, and everyone helps out, and everybody chips in. And it shows through the process.
Look, they got a putting green down there into the end zone on the the
golf
west
team.
end. That's the golf team down there. That's pretty cool. Just everybody out here. You got the football team. You're right. The soccer team, the golf team,
and the little
volleyball.
Kids. The little kids are playing with the high school kids. I mean, that's a big deal.
Oh,
when
that's
you're
a
little
big deal. And just to come out on this field, they just excite. And you know what? Any team that's going to come here to play, you know. Right. I mean, we play Otto Eldred, we play Ridgeway, whoever. You know, you're coming onto this field, this complex. Your first initial reaction is just going to be in awe. Is the wow factor? Yeah, and I like what they were talking about, like what just not just about the athlete, but it's about the school function, about the what she said. Where would you rather have your kids come to? I mean, to learn an education, the sporting thing. Kane has
always been known as a scholastic powerhouse.
It sure has, and you're right. It surely has been.
Yes.
Some really great educators
Kid's gone on to great things. Not that other schools haven't, but I just know for a fact that this school is really producing.
And that goes for you and me, Bruce. I mean,
You
we
betcha,
came through
buddy.
and they were glad, back in the day.
I think they held the door open the whole time.
Oh, that was good. But, as I said, and what fond memories, as you get older and you look back in time, and it does go fast. But,
It does.
I look back and you just don't realize what you have when you're youth.
As
But
much, no.
And
you
I
don't.
look back at my time in Kane, which is my whole life.
Right.
Just phenomenal
I
memories.
loved my childhood growing up in Canada.
Yes,
and everything.
we were very
Just
fortunate.
a great community.
Yeah, we really were fortunate to
In
to
our
grow
time.
up in our time here, and. And as I said too earlier, Bruce, I walked up or rode through town, and there's the wine tasting thing was going on. You can hear music playing. Now, back in the day, you had to listen to Joe Szymanski's van when there was music to be played. You did. I mean, there's Joe. Take a bow over there, would you? I mean, he was the original guy that was. Yeah. Now he did, but. He was ahead of his time, and with the van with the earbuds on and the music playing. But so you go uptown now, and I said it's just a lively venue up here.
Things going on. Look at you got little cheerleaders out there, even the junior cheerleaders. Wow.
And that's that little midget football, the Kane Tornadoes,
Yep.
and
kids across the street playing.
and that's another thing too. At work yesterday, and we both work in Bradford, and. One of the guys that was from Emporium told me that the little midget Super Bowl is going to be held up here in this field too this year. Yeah,
great.
That was Simon Johnson that was telling me from Emporium.
Oh,
said,
okay.
This is so the Kane.
I was talking to Teddy Slater about that. He went to Kane and he lives down there. He's friends with Simon. Matter of fact. Yeah, and he told me the same thing. So that's just great. See, one more thing.
And that's what I like. So it's just not an athletic field. It's a thing that promotes Kane. So let's just say somebody's going to work at the prison. Let's just say out there at Marionville Prison or the prison at Lafayette, FCI, and they're touring around the area, and they you can pick where you want to live, but this really adds a lot of value to our Kane community.
It does.
So with that, Bruce, we got 2 weeks away, right?
26th of August at 1:30 in the afternoon. We'll take on the Brockway Rovers in our season opener. Now next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, we will scrimmage Otto Eldred here at 1:30, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This Saturday. Yes, the 19th. The only reason I know it's the 19th, that's my birthday.
Hey, well, happy birthday, buddy. You're looking younger every day, I can tell you that.
We're both on that 65 clip.
Right, we are in that 65 clip. So for myself, Steve Bezak, Bruce Leonard, and all of 101.7 up here making this happen tonight, we're going to take it back, and we're going to go down on the field and enjoy a little bit of what's going on down there, Bruce. So
there you go, bud.
See you 2 weeks from Saturday.
Gotcha.